Hello, my lovely Twin Towers engineers. Today's assignment, we're going to be doing vector graphic art. This is a kind of art that we've talked about in class. It involves creating shapes to define objects as opposed to drawing everything with pixels one by one. So previously, our sketches, our artwork, we've been doing a lot of drawing with tools that color in pixels. In this new tool, we're going to be defining shapes to create our logos, our objects, whatever we make today. So the usual tool that people use professionally for this is called Adobe Illustrator. We don't have access to that currently, from what I've seen, so I'm going to be using designer.io. So I'm going to Google Gravit.io, and it's going to bring me to designer.io. I'll also have the link in the assignment description and the lesson plans and the lesson slides. And then we can click on the first link on Google and it'll bring us to designer.io. And now we need to log in with our Google account, just like every other tool we've used. So once this loads, I'll click Get Started. And it will ask me for an account. And before we start working on our logos, I want to draw a Tesla Cybertruck like we sketched the other day, but I want to draw it in vector graphics. It's a lot of very simple triangular shapes and then a few circles, so it's a fairly easy thing to draw. Okay, so it's asked me for my account information. I'm just going to click the Google button and log in with my school Google account. And I am doing this on Chromebook just so I can see exactly how this experience is going to be for students. I understand that everything takes forever. So as we talked about in class the other day, some of the benefits of vector graphics is that they are much smaller files, so you can save more vector graphics onto your computer before you run out of space. And they are infinitely resizable without ever losing any quality. So you can make them as big as you want or as small as you want, and you will not lose image quality on a vector graphic. Whereas with pixel-based art, which is called raster art, the quality decreases anytime you resize the image. So it's finally asking me for my account information. All right. I'm not sure what this screen is. I haven't seen this yet, but hopefully it figures out that I'm logged in and we get to start working on our vector graphics. And I know that people are going to have a hard time with this, so you can have all weekend to work on this, to perfect it, to make sure everything's good. And if you have any troubles, any serious issues, make sure to message me because I don't want people worried about their grades. And also feel free to skip through the video. If you see me waiting at a loading screen, feel free to skip through that and find where we start content. Okay, cool. So my page has failed to load successfully. So this is a glitched page. Let's see what it wants. Okay, cool. Now so my page is finally loaded. I'm going to say new design. I'm going to click create. That's all I'm doing. I'm just clicking create. And hopefully it gets all this garbage out of the way and I can start working. Okay, cool. So this is the screen for creating things in vector graphics. Very awesome. So vector graphics, as we've talked about in class, it's very based on shapes. So there's a lot of tools for defining shapes over here. And these are like the kind of bread and butter of this software, is creating and resizing shapes for certain things. So you can make rectangles, you can make circles, you can make polygons, you can make all sorts of shapes. Another really useful tool, aside from the default shape generator, is this pen tool right next to it. And what this allows you to do is that it allows you to draw your own shapes. So you can click and it'll create a point, and then you can just keep clicking and creating more points until the shape looks however you want. And then once you're done, you can just close the shape off by clicking back on the original point, and that'll be your shape. So you can make any kind of shape you want using this pen tool. And this pen tool is something we're gonna use pretty heavily when creating our first image on this, which is gonna be the Tesla Cybertruck that we had sketched earlier in class. And we're gonna use it, hopefully you guys use it well to create your logos. I saw some of you had very geometric logos, so you might not wanna use the pen tool. And right now I'm just trying to grab these objects and delete them by clicking on them with this select tool, with this pointer tool, and then hitting backspace should delete them. Yep. Okay. So once you guys get into this app, we're going to open up a new tab, or you guys can go to your assignment, but we need a picture of the Tesla Cybertruck. And I want it from the side profile, the side view of the Cybertruck. And this is the image we're going to sketch initially, just to practice using this tool. So I'm going to pull up one of these Cybertruck images in a second. And I like this, doing this sketch just because it's a very simple shape. It uses a lot of very straight lines, and that's the easiest thing to do in vector graphics, is when you're using a lot of straight lines, a lot of polygons, a lot of triangles, and not a lot of, once you start using curved shapes or weird shapes, then it starts getting harder. So I've just all I did is I copied that image and I'm pasting it into my designer. Okay, perfect. So now I have a picture of a Cybertruck in here. I'm going to use this little hand tool to drag my screen around a little so I can center it a little more. And I'm going to close this tab out because it's still loading and it's making me lag a little bit more than I need to be. I'm also going to close my other tabs. Hopefully that reduces my lag. Oh, it did immediately reduce my lag by a lot. Okay, sweet. All right. So I'm going to grab, oh my God, this is like buttery smooth now. I love it. All right, so I'm going to grab my pen tool. I'm actually a little zoomed out. So I'm going to click this. I'm going to click this little plus next to the magnifying glass to zoom in a little. I'm going to grab my pen tool, and I'm going to outline some of the shapes of this Cybertruck. So the first one I'm going to do is this main body. So I'm going to put a point here. I'm going to put a point here. And I'm just going to keep adding points around the edges of this main body area until I get the whole body of the Cybertruck. And this will be our first vector graphic shape. Yeah, that's fine. I'll do that point. And then I'm going to connect it back where I started. Oh, something went wrong. All right, perfect. And now you can see the pointers tool still selected. I'm just going to click it again so that I finish my shape. All right, so now I have this finished piece of the shape. I can click on it. All right, so it's selecting the image behind it for some reason. You can also click over here. It says layers. These are all the things that are in your picture right now. So we have an image of the Cybertruck, and we have this thing called path. Path is the path I drew with the pen to define this shape. So we're going to select the shape over on the selector over here, and I want to color it in. So I want to color it the same color as the truck below it. So I'm just going to move the truck out of the way for a second. I'll put it back in a second, but I'm going to... Okay, so I just got a pop-up that's asking me to save. I'm just going to hit yes, so I can create a save file for this. I'm going to name it truck. And now it automatically saves to my Google account, which is wonderful. All right, so anyway, what was I trying to do? I was trying to get this to be the color of the car behind it. So where it says fills, this is where it says fills on the side when you select the shape. Once you select the shape, it'll say fills. This is the color of that shape. So I'm going to click this little dropper, and then I'm going to click on the car, and it's going to give the shape the color of the car. So that's what I want. And now I'm going to line the shape back up where I had drawn it originally. All right. Now I'm going to draw my next shape. I'm going to draw this top window. I'm going to grab my pen. I'm going to draw this top window. I messed up. So when you click and drag with the pen, it goes into drawing a circle. You just need to click on the spot you want your first point, and then you want to click on the next spot, and then you want to click on the next spot. You don't want to hold it, or else it's going to start trying to give you a circle tool. And that'll be our window. And I don't need to collect that color. That window's black. I'm just going to give this a black color. All right. My next shape, let's do the other part of the hull. And we're going to work through almost the whole truck just like this. So I'm going to grab my pen tool. I'm going to select it again. I'm going to click this corner. I'm going to move up to the top. I'm going to move over to this corner. And then I'm going to hop back to where I started. And I'm going to change the color because this is definitely the incorrect color. So I'm going to take like a light gray. And our window disappeared. So why did our window disappear? The reason our window that we had drawn disappeared is because we drew something else on top of it. But that's fine. The window's still there. Unlike our paint apps, this app will save things that are behind other objects. So all we do to get our window back is we click where our window is, and it selects our window. Perfect. And then we can right-click or double-click on Chromebook, I should say, and it'll open up this menu. And we want to arrange it and bring it to the front. So anytime something disappears, usually you just have to click on it and click Bring to Front. The next thing I want to do is let's draw this front section. So let me grab my pen tool again. And let's draw out this little front section of this Cybertruck. I'm going to draw the whole I'll make it two different shapes because they're two different colored areas. So that'll be one. Let me make a new selection. And this will be the other shape. I'll put a point here, point here, point here, point here, point here. And that'll be another piece. And I'm just going to draw the other couple of pieces of the car. So we have another little piece right here. Let's put a point here, a point here, a point here, and a point here. And then I'll select my pen tool again. And we're just going through the whole car, drawing all the shapes we see. We're just clicking on them with our pen and outlining them to draw out those shapes of the Cybertruck. For some reason, it's keeping this shape selected. I don't want that shape. Thank you. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but hopefully it looks pretty good. All right. And now, so those are all the main shapes. So now we have two more things to do. Let me turn my pen tool off. Now we need to make the wheels. So for that, we can just use the ellipse shape to make a circle. So I'm going to use this ellipse shape. I'm going to grab and I'm going to draw a circle here. And it needs to be a little bit bigger on this side so that it covers up the whole wheel. And that'll be one wheel. And I'm going to press Control-C to copy it and Control-V to paste it. And I'm going to drag it on over to the other wheel. And we have all of these wonderful alignment tools. I'm going to make sure it's lined up perfectly with my other wheel. And there we go. All right. I'm going to move the picture out of the way because we've outlined the whole picture. And it doesn't look right because I did not color in all these other shapes. So what I'll do is I will grab a shape. I will grab the color selector from the shape. And then I'll move my mouse and select the color from the car where that shape was drawn from. And there's, dozens of colors that you can pull from just each of those shapes. But if you're grabbing it from the shape you took it from, it'll look usually a little bit better than if you just make up your own color. So this will be right below that yellow thing. Gotta grab that color. It's a very dark color. Let's color in the tires. I don't really need to color select. I know that these are black. I'll just make my own black. So I can click fill. I can drag around in this big range of colors. Maybe I want like a, I'm going to do black, but maybe I want like a greener black. Not really. It doesn't make a difference to black, but I'm going to make these pretty black. That'll be one tire. For this piece, I'll use the fill because I'm not really sure exactly what kind of shade this is. And for this tire, I'll use the fill, but I'm going to grab the other tire so that both my tires are the same color. And for this back bumper, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click fill. I'm going to click this back bumper. And now my Cybertruck is pretty much done. I'm going to add one more detail. I'm going to take a rectangle. I'm going to draw a pretty big rectangle over this whole thing. I'm going to draw it up to here. I'm going to send it to the back. And I'm going to make this rectangle a light gray. And that'll be my Cybertruck. So this is the first part of the assignment. This is hopefully going to take us like 30 minutes or so in class. It shouldn't be too bad. Obviously, if people are lagging, they can take time to do this on their own. That's part of what this video is for. And this is the first part of your assignment. The next thing I want us to do is I want us to create, oh, actually, one more step. We can grab this whole thing. We can actually delete the picture now. We're done with it. Let me delete that. So we can click and drag to select our whole thing. And then we can click this button up here to group it together. And what that'll do is now we can resize it all at once. So that's part of why we made this vector. And then we can save this in a vector format. So we can click File, Save. Well, that'll save it to our account. We should save it to our computer. So we can click File, Download File. And it saved it in a file format that I'm not familiar with. Oh, man. I want to save this as an SVG file, hopefully, but... Okay, export as scalable vector graph. Okay, perfect. So what we want, once you're done with your Cybertruck and we want to export this, we want to export it as a scalable vector graphic file. So we go to File, we go to Export, and then we click Scalable Vector Graphics. So we click that, and it'll download it. So I have truck.scalable vector graphics has been downloaded onto my computer. You can put that onto your slides, and I'll be able to grade it from there. That's it for this part of the video. This is just going to be focused on making this Cybertruck, and hopefully you can use this drawing tool, these shapes, to outline and create your own vector graphics version of your logo. And as you can see, you lose a lot of details making a vector graphics, but there's a cleanness to it that is really nice. And all logos are done in this form. So thanks for watching. Good luck on your assignments. And if you need any help, please reach out to me. Yep. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.